No. So this tutorial will build on Autodesk tutorial. So we have uh, through the other previous tutorials we have done the walls, the terrain, and the building pad uh, inside the building. And in this tutorial will show how to use the building pads also to create parking lot ramps um, and sidewalks. And we'll do that based on some dimensional plans with dimensions. Uh, so we have the parking lot here. This is the entry or driveway. There is part of the parking lot is a driveway into a ramp down to this elevation here, around 1 meter below level one. The parking lot is 150 millimeters below level one, and the sidewalk is the same level as level one, which is zero elevation. To visualize more the how this ramp looks like, there is this kind of cross section given. So again, this is uh, store level of level one at elevation zero. The sidewalk is here, and then this is the driveway or part of a parking lot. You can see it's lower. This level here, it's lower than uh, the store level. You can see here this is the other part of the cross section of the parking lot, and then this is the ramp going down, and then there is kind of a loading platform for this for this store building. So this is what is given to us, and in Revit, this is the 3D model view of what we have so far. So where we'll start is we'll start from this point here, and some of the dimensions are given relative to the grid lines. So we'll start from here, and we'll move from the corner of the building to the grid line. And if you're seeing my class, you'll have the access to this plan. So I will follow the plans and the dimensions to draw and Revit. So going back to Revit, I go to the side view and then building pad and drawing the line. And again, doing this part here. So I'll go, and you have to be careful so you don't, sometimes it snaps to a below element. In this case, it's the pad. So I have to be careful matching it to the point I want, which is the corner of the building. And I go to hit the grid line, then go all the way to the other intersection, the lowest intersection of the grid lines I have, like this. And then going all the way from here to there. But if you pay attention, it's a little off from the grid line 1 by 500. So what I'll do is I will hit the grid line, escape, and then go by 500, which is about the edge of the building here. And then I'll continue drawing. And this is the sidewalk, but I have to close the sidewalk, so I have to follow the border or the edge of the building. So building pads has to have enclosed region. So what I will do is I will have this going back to the same point where I started. And this is kind of the sidewalk, and I say check mark, and if I see it in 3D, this is the sidewalk. But the sidewalk is at level 0, so it matches with the same level as the floor of the store. So that's good so far. Now going back to the side view, what I will do is now I draw the parking lot or the driveway up to some point here. So the parking lot I will start from kind of similar point here. And this is below the grid by 1000 millimeters. So below this grid intersection, which is this part here. So I'm below it by 1000 millimeters. So building pad. One thing I have to pay attention to is I'm below parking lot top finish is 150 below level 1. So when I'm drawing, I will type negative 150. If it's not a big deal if you forget this, you can fix it later. But now I'm going below 1000 from this point, and then going all the way from about by 6500 from this point to this point. So type 6500 in this direction, and the other part here is this part is 2000, but I have kind of a fillet, kind of a corner here. So that what I will do is I will draw another line which is somewhere here, this one, and it's 1000 length, and go up by 1000 and then 2000. So I'll go up by 3000 and stop here for a minute. And what I will do is I will do this tool here with arc, and I'll select this line and this line, and I'll place it somewhere roughly. I want it to be 1000, but then I can escape and then select this and make it 1000 radius arc, and then this line here is something I don't need anymore. So I'm done with this part here. Next, I will draw all of this, which is kind of reaching up to grid line 1. So grid line 1, and then it needs to be expanded by 500, 3000, and 1500, which is total of 5000. So I will draw line from here all the way to there, and then another line here of 5000. And then I will need to go down all the way here. Oh, sorry, actually, I'm drawing this line, the inside of the parking lot, this line here. So I will need to go all the way to this point. I can figure out this how to deal with opening pretty soon. So I go all the way to grid line E.5, and then go below it by 3715. So go all the way to E5 here, and then 3175, 3175. And then I need to kind of draw the diameter, which is not 5000, it's actually 4500. So I'll go 4500. And then go, and I should hit, yes, I should hit the corner of the sidewalk. Now I will draw this kind of curvature, turning curvature, which is drawing using the center and the arc. So I need to pick the center first, starting point, end point. Then I don't need this line anymore. And kind of checking again. So how to deal with this opening, I will keep it for now, but let's draw the outside part of the parking lot. So this driveway is the same width as this one, which is 6000. So I will offset, pick a line and offset by 6000 and offset this part here. Same thing for the driveway here. So offset by 6000. Same thing here. So offset this part by 6000. And I need to offset from the grid line, but now by 12,500. So I change the offset to be 12,500 and then offset from the grid line. And going back to, yeah, so I draw kind of the outside border of the parking lot. And what I will do is I will extend this to that, this to this, and this one here I will extend it to somewhere close to the edge of the topology that you have. Right, and this line is offset from the grid, so it's not reaching out all the way to the gap or the width of the driveway, which should be 6,000. So I will have another offset by 6,000. Again, there are different ways of doing that. I'm just on the fly kind of figuring out how to sketch this. It gives an error because there is some overlapping lines, which I will resolve this. So I draw this one. Oh, it keeps offsetting. So undo, undo. There you go. And then I will do this fillet here with this line and this line. Sorry, actually I picked the wrong side. So like this one. Okay, so it picks. I have to actually manually kind of change this to here, and then to the fillet. That's still so I make it shorter. There you go. Pick anywhere now for now. Somewhere close to 1,000. So zoom in, make it 1,000, close to 1,000, and then pick the arc, make it 1,000, and close this line here, just roughly. It doesn't have to reach out otherwise outside of the terrain, otherwise it will give an error. And this is not a closed uh, region yet, so I will have to close it by following kind of around the sidewalk. So I'll do that. So going all the way around to here and to here. Now, if you remember, I started with this line here to go down the grid line by 1,000 millimeters, so I don't need this anymore, so I'll delete this. So now the closed region is this part, and hopefully if I say check mark, yes, it didn't give an error. Worked, and if I go 3D, this is kind of the parking lot. And you can see there's this difference between the sidewalk and the parking lot. This line here, ignore it, it's just the view box. Right? So kind of I finished part of the parking lot. The other part needs to be this entry driveway and then the ramp. And I also need to draw this platform that has the same level as the store. So let's do that actually. So I'll go back to the site. It's somewhere here, which I see it's from this grid line by 5027. So I will draw a building pad, and it's actually at 0, offset from level the store floor, which is at 0 elevation. And I need to drop from this line here, grid line A, by 5027. So I can do this multiple ways, but for now, let's make an offset by 5027 here. And I need to trim this part, and this part is going this way all by 50 and then 3000. So I'll change that to 3500. Oops, and then need to move it from here to here and draw the remaining part of the platform. And the kind of the width of the platform, or the depth, whatever you want to call this dimension here, is 2500. So 2500. It's not referring to the grid line. It's referring to the edge of the platform. So 2500. Then hitting back building, closing. Yes. So if I go to 3DA to check that, here you go. And that's level 1. So it's the same level of the store. If I want to check it, I can pick the pad, store level, no offset. Here you go. Another thing is, if I check the plans, this part, kind of there's a drop here from 0 to negative 1065. So I need to draw that, which is 1500 by 3000. So if I go to the site plan, draw, I need to unselect this. So draw the building pad and go down by 1500. Go 3000. But before I leave, this should be negative 1065. Negative 1065. So yes, and check it out in 3D. You can see there's this drop here. So there's this platform, and then there's this other pad that I just created, and it's kind of dropping. For trucks, kind of to back up to here, and then you unload into the back of the store. So now I'm almost done. I need to connect this part to the entry somewhere here, which is this kind of driveway, but it's driving, and if you're going from the parking lot elevation negative 150 and then dropping all the way to negative 1065. So let's create that entry here. So I need to select that pad, which probably it's hard to pick it on just the side plan. I will go into the 3D, here you go, pad, and then going to the side and then edit. I need to make this opening. So the opening goes from the edge of this uh, turning curve, and this long line here, I need to draw it or back it a little beyond the E grid line by 1523. So I will draw, kind of drag this end to E, and then I need to figure out a way to have this gap of 1523. So I can, one way of doing this is offset 1523 on line E, and then trim this with that. I don't need this anymore. There you go. This is the opening here. The opening this way. Now I need to go. So this side here. So it's going horizontal. So horizontal by 1500. So this gap here is 1500. And going vertical from here to this point by 2960. So I will draw a line from here by 1500, then go up by this distance, not 2961, 961, then going back. I don't need these two lines anymore. And then I will draw a line horizontal, which is the distance or the width of the driveway, which is 3000. And then you can see it's aligned with the face of the building, but I need to go all the way down to here. So that's the parking lot and the driveway, the same kind of elevation. And I can say correct that. So going back to 3D, you can see this is kind of the entry, and then I need to draw this driveway with a slope from this point to this point, which is the last thing we're going to do in this tutorial here. So going to the site, and then I will gonna draw a new building pad representing this asphalt driveway or ramp, and I will draw basically this rectangle from here to here. Now, if I keep it negative 1065, it's gonna be the same elevation as this one. So let's see how this will look like. So it's the same elevation as this one, if you can see it. But then there's this big drop here on this side. So it's not a ramp. So I need to have this side lifted up to here, and this side here will be the same as this, as it's now. So going back to site, and if I select that's a topology, so I have to go back to 3D and pick this building path going to site, and then edit boundary. And then I will draw a slope arrow. So I'll draw from here to here, from the edge to the edge. And now I will control the elevation of the edge or the tail to the other edge, which is the head of the slope arrow. So this edge has to be the same level as the parking lot, which is level at, that will be the store level. But the parking lot is at negative 150. So I will say negative 150. That's the offset at tail. And then the other one will be from the store floor, but then negative all the way to reach negative 1065. Negative 1065. And then I say apply. And check. So if I go now to 3D, now you can see that you drive in at the same level here, and then it's going down all the way to this level driveway part, and then there's the platform. Now, if I want to make sure that I did it also correct, so I will do a view, cross-section view, from here to here, and let's make it very small just to see. Just enough to see it through the thickness of that drive wall. And if I go to the section view, and you can see here, this is the driveway and then the ramp down, and this is the platform. Same level as store level, store floor. So that's it for this tutorial. We've seen how to use building pads to draw parking lots. One thing, yeah, in the 3D here, you will notice that this trim box or section box is not showing really the whole site. So if I drag it, now I can see the complete parking lot that I just created. Right. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in another video.